Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Cutting a promo this week, ladies and gentlemen, and I have to say, it's December. The year's almost done. God, it went so fast. I'm like, where does the time go? Where does the time fly? Beginning of the year, we were just sitting here, turnbuckle tableting up. During the middle of the year, the New York Wrestle Media kicks up, and then now, boom, we're all running, all cylinders going. It's just been one hell of a ride, one roller coaster. And I would like to thank everybody who's been a part of it for the past year in 2024. The listeners, the viewers, you guys who are partaking. It's been fun, man. You guys you keep me motivated, and you also keep the people here motivated. Shout out to Ariana Nata Grande and Homework My Step sitting in with us for cutting a promo this week.
Mm-hmm.
History and Headlocks will be out this week. This week's topic was celebrating the history of Saturday night's main event. Just quickly, I know you probably said it on the show this week, but Ariana, most memorable moment for Saturday night's main event for you?
For me, I think it'll always be Liz and Macho, Honky Tonk Man, the guitar. The guitar shot to Macho. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me how old I am now that you mentioned it. Jesus Christ, it's been that long. Not to say how old Ariana is, but you get the point, guys. And
I learned my lesson.
Mike, right. Mike, for your generation, who was like the staple of Saturday night's main event when it made its return? Like what wrestlers were the one prominently shown for you?
I don't know. It's always a mixture of like Cena, Randy Orton. I go out of the mainstay guys. I mean, for my generation, Saturday night's main event, there's really not. I guess a moment would be to see Matt Hardy box Evander Holyfield. That's the one thing that really stands out.
Okay, yeah, that's those are. I think those are moments in where I was really getting drunk at that time, and I probably forgot about those days. As opposed to what I'm doing, that's a long story. Don't worry about it. Nobody needs to know about my issues. Any case, for me, I always loved about tag team matches. I've always been a tag team guy. I always love to see like the Strike Force or the Heart Foundation, especially the Bulldogs, and they always got at least a moment to showcase themselves on a stage like Saturday night's main event. And me being a tag team guy, even to this day, cutting a promo this week is celebrating not only a tag team, but a faction that's celebrating 10 years in positivity, productivity, and making sure you eat your bootios. Our guys, the New Day. I tell you guys, I asked you guys that if you wanted to sit in for this segment, and you guys were enthusiastic about that. Mike, why were you so excited to talk about the New Day?
Because, well, one, we're going to talk about what happened on Monday when they the 10-year celebration, but it's also one of those things where for so many years we predicted when the New Day would break up, but then for 10 straight years they never did. I mean, we'll talk about the inception of when they started and how long where they came from. I mean, how this whole thing came about, but it's interesting to say a stable tag team stayed together for 10 straight years with no breakups, no time off, just three individuals who stuck to the gimmick and stayed true to it for 10 straight years. I mean, the NWO was around forever, but like, it didn't last as long as New Day did. DX didn't last as long as New Day did. Evolution, a lot of famous factions. The Four Horsemen, never mind. The Four Horsemen definitely lasted longer, but like, I mean, the New Day definitely. I mean, stand the test of time. Definitely Hall of Famers together, and I will say for Kofi, he does get a second Hall of Fame induction out of it.
You mentioned some names. NWO, no.
Yeah,
Horseman could be a little bit over, but not by much. I don't think so. They
right.
were possibly off and on for some time being. I believe that they were really put together around 84, 85. And I think they had a little more of a run till later on, maybe
Once,
90s.
when
Remember,
they,
they're different in variants of the Four Horsemen.
I will make a correction. I will say, I guess, a faction that stayed together consistently. Because
Right.
I mean, the NWO had like maybe like a year off. DX definitely like the Attitude Era to 2006. Like Evolution was only like around for 3 years. None of them stood long as the New Day have.
Ari, I know that you had some time off from wrestling. You took a break for a little while. Were you around when the New Day popped back in? When the New Day popped up, would you pop back in?
Not when they first got together, no. Um, but I was familiarized with them maybe like around 2018, so a few years into their run.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They
You
had
know,
did you didn't get to see the whole beginning, the ground up, as they would say. It was
No.
it was an interesting premise for three individuals such as Big E, Kofi Kingston,
Mhm.
our boy
Davey Woods.
Woods. I was over here thinking Consequences Creed. I don't know why it just popped into my head.
I mean, we're gonna talk about because when he came into WWE, I remember him as Consequences Creed from TNA, and his main roster run was not really spectacular. He was R-Truth's best friend.
What do you think about it?
And you can't go farther than that.
Kofi being the vet of them all, basically was a talent that already had his feet wet in WWE for some time. Xavier Woods coming from TNA Impact as Consequence Creed, and Big E pulling up from NXT, being their former champ. Was it when Ari, when you look at these individuals, like you said, you saw them later in 2018. You saw what their chemistry was at that time. Well, how did you embrace them?
Oh, I thought they were fantastic. They were hilarious. Their chemistry was off the chain. Uh, their comedy was it was something. How can I explain it? I don't want to say it was something different that we have seen before, but it was just they made it stand out. All three of them have very different personalities, but it all just meshed so well together. And just seeing how the fans embraced them and loved them so much, like you can't help but just like get pulled into their excitement.
Yeah, that's the big thing. That's the big thing was the fan base. Mike, remember they started off, they were heels, correct?
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you because when the time came when like they did that segment where Xavier came out after Big E and Kofi had a tag loss, and Xavier cut this passionate promo saying like guys like us are need to start being put down. Like I want to know like because a lot of people speculate like oh this is gonna be the new Nation of Domination trio. Like did you have any type of thoughts like that when you saw like what they were planning?
No, actually, when I first saw it, I kind of was like, "This is not gonna work." I was looking at the whole gospel theme, embracing the black spiritual side and such, and I'm like, this is once again a Vince booking that automatically just assumes, hey, all black people either do one thing, either very spiritual or they're very hip hop street orientated.
Yeah, I mean they went left field with it because like they did the promo. They're very serious because you had Big E coming off losing the IC title, doing the whole. And I think it was kind of when Big E was doing the whole like gospel thing too. When he was like the Rusev is like coming to America and being
Right.
disrespectful, and then You had Kofi Kingston coming off the Jamaican gimmicks, just being like a normal mid carder, and then Xavier, like I said, just was pretty much brand new on the main roster. Disappear for 6 months, and then you see vignettes of them in front of a choir, start preaching about how they're gonna go, like Kofi's gonna fly higher, Biggie's gonna lift like more, like be stronger, Xavier's gonna be smarter. And then when they debuted, and then the whole doing the whole clapping thing, and as far as like I want to hear your thoughts on the name, the New Day, because it's just the theme song. I've heard other weird names they got pitched, like the color purple, the color of friendship. I think got like
Right.
a bunch of weird names, and they just went with the New Day.
Well, it's funny because we're looking at like the origins. Biggie was just coming off of being Dolph
IC
Ziggler,
champion.
and also being Dolph Ziggler's bodyguard at some time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Kofi, they finally just said, "Hey, he's not Jamaican. All right, we can move away from that."
Yeah,
And so,
he was just in the mid card forever, and then
right.
Xavier pretty much was brand spanking new when he was not getting his ass kicked by Rusev. Which, funny enough, all three of them got their ass kicked by Rusev. So it would have been funny if they all came back and just destroyed Rusev like their first mission. But no, it was like they did the whole nation domination tease, and then they do preacher thing.
Then well, and early on, I didn't even know that they were really testing the waters for this early in 2014, and in certain matches, tag team matches, they were pairing Biggie and Kofi for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and then they started doing their vignettes around November for the New Day, and finally they debuted in December. And like I said, I didn't think it was going to be one of those factions that would last for long. I thought it would just be a throwaway thing, and then all of a sudden, one big thing happened, and it was the fans. The fans actually embraced them more than anything. Ari, right now I'm just showing a picture of them in their colorful forms.
Right. Yeah, that's what I remember. Actually, I think I may have seen them like maybe a year before. Like I think the first time I ever saw them together was at a WrestleMania that I tuned into
Was
randomly
it
one day, and I was like,
30,
"Whoa, these guys are."
31?
I don't even know. Don't ask me. I don't know, but and I just saw them, and they just looked like cartoons, like candy.
Mm-hmm. Very
You
colorful.
know, very colorful, very vibrant, very animated all together. And at first, I was like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Well, I remember the debut because when they came out, they had the big firework display. It was like positivity, like craziness, and they were doing the whole clap thing, like "New Day rocks, New Day rocks." But the fans didn't like it at first because they chanted "New Day sucks."
Mhm.
And then after WrestleMania, they turned them heel. They gave them the tag belts by beating Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Pretty much did a double turn with them. And then from then on, when they went full heel, they embraced it. They were like, "Oh, oh, we hear you booing, but you actually like cheering." And then like they were throwing jokes like Xavier would be like, "You guys are booty." Meanwhile, I'm saying like, "What the fuck did they just call us booty?"
Well, remember, Woods wanted to be shown as the intellect, which he is. As we know, this guy has like 2 like master's degrees and stuff. He's
Oh
like,
yeah, he's very smart.
yeah, and you know, we saw Big E have a heel run before, especially under the Ziggler bodyguard sense, and we didn't really see Kofi play a heel before. We saw him as the fun-loving high flyer and such, and then for that to happen, they meshed together. We had the New Day come together with this, but like I mentioned, the turn happens, and then like Adi mentioned, we see these colorful characters who are just so different from what what probably Vince really wanted. This is not what he wanted. I said once you put him in other colors other than something dark and brooding, it was over. Ari, I gotta ask you,
Yeah.
did you get a box of bootios?
Yeah, I honestly,
The better question is, do you know what it is?
the first time I saw that, I was like, what are they referring to here? My brain went a whole different direction. I'm like, I'm watching this, I'm looking at them and seeing Biggie with his big meaty self gyrating all over the place, and I'm like, what are we referring to on this? Like, what's going
It was one of those things when they kept saying booty on TV so many times that
booty
when
booty
eventually
booty?
when they came up with Booty O's, they made a legit cereal. They
I know.
Art box. It was a legit thing, and Jay bought it,
Hilarious.
and it actually tasted very good.
I had a box of Bootios. I bought it from FYE. Shout out to FYE, who's no longer.
Oh, I miss FYE.
That was my spot. I had to stop in there at least once a week so I could get my Funkos and see all the stuff. So I was like,
were
but I had
they
to
were,
get there.
were they fruity or what?
It was more like Lucky Charms, I would think.
Kind of, yeah. It was like
Okay,
that.
marshmallowy
Yeah.
Yeah, because the marshmallow stuff, I think it was, I forget what it was. It was like unicorns,
unicorns.
rainbows, like that type of stuff. Like basically, like what you're looking at right there, like that was cereal.
Just them turn into cereal.
And also too, let's remember they sold unicorn horns,
Yeah,
and you got grown men walking around with unicorn horns on their head.
Christy would have loved them at that time.
Oh, please.
Are you insinuating something naughty, Ariana?
No, she just loves unicorns and bright colors.
So yeah, she's colorful. She's like a walking rainbow herself at times.
Exactly.
So that was the thing though, because they also not only were able to embrace the fans that way, culturally they were able to connect with the masses because they too were like the fans. They're into anime, they're into video games. A lot of their gear is referenced to the stuff in which is pop culture. I remember when they came out and they had the whole Dragon Ball Z gear going on. They had that look. Yeah, they had the Power Rangers look as well. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, like subtle with certain wrestlers and such. Hell, when Cody was dashing Cody Rhodes, he would wear the Zelda emblem on his boots. Not people know that. So they took it, picked up the ball, and ran with it. And now every time you would watch the New Day, you would want to see certain references of what they were doing and what they had going on. We didn't go into what is considered the longest reign in WWE tag team history. To be honest with you, it didn't feel that way to me. What was your thoughts about that run?
I remember us doing a lot of the previews for those pay-per-views, and a lot of you and me would go back and forth on should they lose it to this month because at the time the tag team division was pretty much a couple teams, and then you had the New Day pretty much on top of the whole division. They were beating everybody. They were beating the Usos. They were beating the Bar. They're not the Bar. It was like Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, like them, the Dudleys. It was like every team under the sun, the Vaudevillains, and it was like. Then eventually the Bar didn't beat them, but it was like one of those things where it was weird not to see them with the tag belts, those garbage penny belts they had for so long. But I understand the time that they wanted to make history with them, but I think like no matches really stand out during that initial run they had with the belts. It was only later on when they split them with the SmackDown and the Raw tag belts. That's when like matches like the ones with the Usos would stand out more.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking I'm going, Ariana, would you have liked to have caught a pancake from?
I would have tried.
I mean, Jay, remember when they tried to do New Day ice cream?
I want to eat it. Oh, that's cute. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
But I want to try to catch a pancake.
Yeah. Also, they would do like weird things. Like Xavier, like right there, he has like the trombone. He would play the musically, he's talented as well. Because I remember when like that SummerSlam in Brooklyn, the Raw after, and he came out to playing like dan, 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 on the trombone, and Francesca was born.
Right now, I'm looking at this picture, and it kind of got main event vibes going on here. I'm looking at this over here. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
But you know what? It's stuff like that that gives inspiration for newer talent to come up with ideas. Because I mean, when you see the New Day do stuff like that, and you think, oh, like that's the most stupid thing. Meanwhile, it got over like gangbusters.
Well, the one thing that I could say is that, and Ari could probably attest to this, is that you can't sit there and pigeonhole yourself to one kind of thing when it comes to gimmick wise. There's a lot of individuals, especially these indie guys who come up now. Everybody wants to look like a thug. They put on their kick pads. They wrestle in Jordans. You know, they got on.
The amount of El Jefes I see on the fucking indies is annoying.
That's almost borderline racist, but I get it though. I have to say that it takes a lot for an individual, like especially for the New Day, to break away from that. They took what they had going and they ran with it. They said, you know what? Let's take this that we find funny and fun and blow it up to extremes. Hell, like you mentioned, unicorn horns. We were buying unicorn horns.
Grown men
were buying unicorn horns. Mm-hmm. It's insane.
Do you know what the equivalent of that is now? The scissoring.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, when you see all the hands at the AEW shows.
But remember, you had grown men touching tips with the unicorn horns.
Yeah, I've never seen that. What bathrooms were you in?
It wasn't the bathrooms.
That's what you. Oh,
okay.
So we were talking about something else there, Mike.
Jay should just sit in the corner while we keep going because this is horrible. He was talking about the fact too. Plus, with the stuff they do on screen, they had a very big social media presence with up, down, down. Xavier Woods progress or program that you did.
That's actually a program that saved also a lot of people's jobs as well. For instance, like our boy Tyler Breeze is still somehow connected with WWE because of up, down, down.
He's technically on a Legends contract, which is the funny thing.
Yeah, and is he even 40? Like, I don't even know.
Not even.
Yeah. Shout out to Tyler Breeze. He's also he runs a wrestling school as well. So shout out to him. He's a trainer and such. But yeah, and it was also one of those. It was one of those inspirational programs to show that even the badasses of what's supposed to be in the locker room, they too are into fun stuff like gaming and like video gaming, board gaming.
Mm-hmm.
You see like the Usos. You see Mia Yim. They get AJ in there. Hell, I didn't even know that. My girl. I always say that she drinks 40s with one hand. That even the toughest of the tough that they sit there and they love to go. Samoa Joe, big fucking gamer. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
That you get you get these guys on the show.
You see a different side of them. I mean, Baron Corbin, Shayna Baszler, like they'll bring like Randy Orton on, and Randy Orton's talk about, I love Call of Duty and all this like this nonsense stuff. Like you got to see a different side of the locker room, which, funny enough, got a lot of the older veterans pissed off about because it's like back in my day we didn't do any video games, but it's like you guys had fucking cards and dice. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck you want?
Ari, you know the old that old time mentality. Get off my lawn.
Exactly.
What was your thoughts about like hearing the older statesmen, speak about how they were in the locker room in comparison to now?
They need to chill. Things have changed. Times have changed. Technology has changed. Back then they didn't have much to do other than to sit around, play cards, smoke cigars, God knows what, play dominoes maybe. Now, I mean, these kids could bring because basically a lot of these guys are just kids, right?
Yeah.
And they could bring their consoles in and plug it in and start playing, boom, right then and there, just to kill time. And they are into the geeky stuff that wasn't around back then.
But I mean, what do these vets want these guys to do when they're not like wrestling, like on their downtime?
We can't do cocaine off the bench. Like we're not. Come on, we're out of that. It's like, come on. No.
I mean, I don't know, man.
This is why the New Day resonated and gravitated so greatly with the fan base, because that's who they were. They were the fans, and as hilarious we'll see, like Adi mentioned, Biggie, twerking and booty popping,
doing splits.
Goodness.
And the genius of Woods to bring out a trumpet out of all instruments to come out and play.
Mm-hmm.
The trumpet and probably the tuba are probably the most cheesiest brass instruments to play.
And obnoxious to hear.
I
especially
think
the
I
tuba.
I think that night too, like they gave him options. Like he was like it was like the trombone, the flute, the tuba, or like a drum. I think he said,
Right.
"Let me go with the trumpet," because I
Yeah.
think because he said he remembered playing that in high school.
Although I do believe that they missed the opportunity of possibly. Or did it ever happen that Biggie came out with a tuba? I would have loved to have seen him do that.
He
It,
came out with drums.
oh,
The
okay, because it would have reminded me of seeing like Fat Albert when they did the Cosby Kids and they all played.
drum.
I would have loved to have seen that. So we get a great run with them. They had rivalries after rivalries up and down the line. Especially everybody knows that one of their biggest rivalries were against the Usos and such.
Mhm.
And um, unfortunately, we get a horrific accident that occurred with Big E. Big E gets sidelined, and there was a possibility of whether or not will he be, and it's still up in the air whether or not he will be able to wrestle again. But Woods and Kofi stood strong, stood steadfast. Even before then, we
I was gonna say, don't you want to bring up Kofi
oh,
Mania?
yeah, I was gonna say even before then, we get the push of all pushes. Ari, I know you were around for that.
Mhm.
Uh, what was your first thoughts of this happening? That the fan base actually got behind Kofi.
I loved it. It was something that we hadn't seen in a long time in WWE, is that kind of a push for that kind of an athlete. Smaller guy, say it, a man of color,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and to see that kind of, the fans rally behind him and push for it, and it was actually granted to him. Was just it was mind blowing.
it was one of those things where Mustafa Ali gets hurt, Kofi Kingston is his replacement, and then that gauntlet match where he pretty much he beat Randy Orton, he beat AJ Styles, he beat Samoa Joe, and on that one night, and then going into the Chamber pay-per-view where people wanted him to win, and then he became so close but lost. And it was so funny because it was very good too to have it was against Daniel Bryan because then you had Vince McMahon involved. The last good thing Vince ever did, but they did the whole B plus player storyline with Kofi Kingston, and that resonated so much with the fans.
Hmm.
Where you would have Biggie and Xavier pretty much for shoot go out in public and say this is bullshit. Kofi should be getting the goddamn title, like it felt so real.
I,
I
I
mean,
really, I really believe that they were just basically borderline saying, "Yeah, you're not gonna win because you're black." Like I was really like, it kind of went over that way, but I know they like to use a B plus little guy kind of thing.
mhm.
Hmm.
But it really had a strong force behind uh the reasoning why this happened at WrestleMania. I was in the building for when it happened, and it was probably the second biggest pop I've ever heard in wrestling history.
Wow.
The first biggest pop I ever heard live was Dolph cashing in on Alberto Del Rio. That was insane. I've never heard anything like that in my life. This
Hmm.
was right next to it, and this is even crazier because it's in an open arena. The
Mhm.
cash happened in indoors. This was even bigger, and the pop when it happened was insane. Um,
It's even insane. It was even crazier because a lot of people didn't think like there's like a 33% chance he's gonna win. Like people like honestly didn't think they were gonna give it to him, and they gave it to him. He won clean, and the moment he had with his kids in the ring where
right.
and they unveiled the belts at Kofi, and it was one of those like real moments because that was a moment where they definitely looked at Kofi and said, "Thank you for all your hard work. You busted your ass for so many years.
Mhm.
Here's your moment."
Yeah. Then we get a title reign with him. Ari,
Hmm.
your thoughts of when Kofi lost to Brock Lesnar?
Hmm. Uh, uh, travesty of justice.
6 seconds.
Travesty of justice. It's like, like, why would you, like, if people say, oh, that's not, when people talk about people getting buried, damn it, that was a burial. That was a damn burial, funeral, the whole 9 yards. Like, you just take this guy and killed his momentum with
After
a
6 months of nothing, of
six, yeah, and it's a 6 second squash to Brock fucking Lesnar.
on the premiere on Fox, where people are watching, so many people watching, and they seeing a black man get buried by the big strong white man, and then let's forget about Kofi because here comes Cain Velasquez. Like it got worse like the minutes passed. It was like
Right.
just like shut the show off. Like enough.
Yeah, it was disgusting in my opinion.
And they never addressed it again. Kofi wasn't
Yeah.
like, "Oh damn it, I want my title back." He went back to the tag division.
I mean,
That's the part that sucked.
what surprises me is that Kofi, that he even stayed in WWE after that. I would have been like, yo, fuck this. My contract's done. I'm out. Bye. See ya. At that time, I know at the time there wasn't much options, but oh my god, it's just
I mean,
like,
AEW is about to start up, so that could have been something. But he's a company
yeah,
man. That's the thing.
yes, that's the thing. He stays loyal to a company that kind of wasn't too loyal to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm.
like then after that, like I said early on, we had an unfortunate injury that occurred with Big, and then we had
Two actually.
Yeah.
Because he won the Biggie actually got Money in the Bank. He won
Money in
it.
the Bank, right.
And then he didn't even have a reign, and then he got taken. Guess what? Brock Lesnar came back around.
Right.
He jumped up stuck to him.
Yeah, apparently Brock Lesnar is the burial of all blacks. Maybe looking at
Seems like it.
Yeah, we get that's right. We get the Biggie and the cash in. We got it on Raw. That was great.
Biggie on Bobby Lashley, which was
right.
I didn't think that was going to happen. Biggie actually had a match with Roman Reigns at Survivor Series champion. I think he had one title defense against Drew, and then he was supposed to face Lashley, Owens, and Rollins, and Roman got COVID, so Brock goes in that match, and then Biggie, then his singles push pretty much evaporated. And they went back to SmackDown, team with Kofi, and then, like you mentioned before, broke his neck on a German suplex, overhead suplex, and broke his neck.
Then we get, we the New Day stayed together. That was one thing that it didn't hurt them much. It was unfortunate what occurred, but they stayed together. Usually, thought that would have been the time in which they would separate them, but they didn't. And then we get King in the Ring, and the one thing that Xavier Woods has always wanted was to win the King in the Ring, which was something hadn't been around for some time. They moved away from it for a little bit.
It became this is when the Saudi Arabia show started to adopt it, and then that was the year when I was very surprised they actually gave it to him, because I was like, oh, it's good that he wanted to do this since he was a child, but it's like, you're going against Finn Balor, and like he was actually winning his matches. It was a heartwarming moment again when they gave it to him, and he had a few months with it, and then they just took it away from him.
Ari, were you a King Woods fan?
What year was that?
That was 2021, 2022.
Yeah, like I don't know why my memories are so vague about it.
I mean, because like,
I remember him with the crown, with the big crown on, but other than that, like,
there was but
it was to me 2021 WWE had me like.
I mean, Roman destroyed the crown because, of course, you can't have anything good.
I would tune in, and then I would literally tune in and then tune out within a few minutes because I was like, "This is garbage."
Well, yeah, remember it was a pandemic. It was a pandemic era. So,
pandemic era, right? It was just not. It wasn't keeping my attention at the time, so I really can't say much about the King Woods gimmick.
And then after that, once Biggie got hurt, it was pretty much Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods holding the mantle for the New Day for the longest time. I mean, they're fine as the exception as a tag team. They had, I don't think they had another reign since like the initial brand split. But then for the last couple of months, this past year, they've been teasing it, dissension. They keep arguing with each other. And then, I mean, look at that nonsense.
That's so cute.
They kept referring to Kofi Kingston as Sir Kofi Kingston.
Kofi.
But like this whole year, I mean, we were talking like every time they do Monday Night Raw, it's like what's the deal with this Karrion Kross thing? It's like, oh, here comes Odyssey Jones for like randomly for 2 weeks, and then he gets fired, and then the whole storyline goes up to hell.
But did you
10-year celebration?
Did you guys read what was the plans for with Odyssey? What was going to happen? Did you guys see what
he was going to replace Biggie?
Yeah, he was going to replace Biggie.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't seem like that was the direction they were going, considering Xavier had that like a little animosity towards him. Like, who is this freaking guy? Like, I just don't see how they would have what they would have done to have Xavier swayed in that direction.
I guess
I
if they
thought that they were.
would.
Yeah, I just thought that they were gonna have him leave New Day altogether, and then be Odyssey, Kofi, and eventually Big E when he was ready, if he was ever ready to return. You know.
I mean,
Yeah.
they would have went. They would have definitely called them Big O eventually.
Most likely, it would have been that. Yeah, they would have went that way. It probably would have been that after a while, Xavier would have embraced him, and they would have been able to move on from there. But then we get him a little tension that's happening after the whole shebangs or the shenanigans, the Odyssey, and Kofi's feeling a certain way. Xavier, now feeling a little bit more anguish and frustrations going on with the New Day. Kofi, he lets him know that, hey, now you're the quarterback, you run the team, you're the guy who's here, you take charge, and there was a lot of misses that was happening between them, and so that we thought that was going to be the anticipants of them breaking up, and then we get the 10-year anniversary on Monday Night Raw, and we get the return of our boy Big E. And well, I'll set it up for you. I'll let you guys set it up. Ariana, did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. What was your first take on what you thought would have happened?
So when they first both came out alone, it felt like they were going to announce their separation, right? Like they were very sober, they were very somber, and it just felt like they were going to announce that they were going to break up, that on their anniversary, New Day would be no more. I was prepared for that. I was like, all right, here it comes. This is how they're going to break them up. Cool. Right? But then when Big E came out, I thought he was going to save the day.
The plot thickens.
Right. I thought he was going to save the day. Now, one of the funniest things for me is once Big E was injured and he was out, but then he started doing like the pre-shows with them and started doing like that kind of like office work for WWE. I said to myself, how come they don't just have him come out as their manager?
Right.
I was thinking that all this time, like, why not? Like, it just didn't make sense to me that he was not connected with them like that anymore. So
funny enough, 5 seconds later, I'm back. I'll be here every week.
I'll be here every week, right? He's there. I'll be here every week. And in my head, I'm like, oh, now he wants to come back?
And then 5 seconds later, Xavier goes,
says it.
Now
Exactly.
you come back?
Now you come back? And I'm like,
it's
that was me the whole time. I was like, oh.
At that moment, Ariana realized I could write this shit.
But then it caught me off guard because I never saw this coming. Mike, like, I'll be honest with you, this segment, the way this storyline turned has been the most unpredictable thing for me. Everything else that WWE has done, like you said, I could write for them. Like, it's so predictable. Everything they do is so damn by the books predictable. This blew my mind.
This one segment redeemed 6 months of all what the hell they're gonna do. Like every week it was like,
period.
You feel one's gonna turn on the other one's gonna turn on this one. I love how because it was like Xavier's switch, his switch was switch, and then Kofi go, wait a minute, Stone Cold Steve Austin came back from a broken neck. Kurt Angle came back from a broken neck, and then he mentioned AEW superstar Edge broken neck.
That's I think that's what blew my mind. Is like when Xavier said it, I said, okay, here it comes. Here's the heel turn finally. This is it. Right. But then when Kofi joined in on it, and he was like, so you broke your neck. So what? I had
the line of the night.
Dude, I had to text my friend and I'm like, yo, are you watching Raw right now? I can't remember the last time I text somebody that.
Yo,
are you watching Raw right now?
I know a lot.
Of
exactly. Yeah, I had a lot of people do the same thing. They were texting me going, are you watching this?
Yes.
Like, I think this is the most emotional I've ever been in wrestling in quite a while.
A long time. Like, I was like, just with WWE, because I'm like, yo, what that? Because like I said, everything for me with WWE is so damn predictable that I don't even tune in every week. I'll just either watch it on my DVR or I'll catch the highlights online. But somehow something told me to tune in last week to watch this.
Shout out to M2 and goes, they got me here feeling bad. I'm taking shots for Biggie. I'm like, oh my God, why are you doing
The whole time I was like,
from the more ones who kept like piling on him, they're like, you took an office job. You're one of them now. And like Biggie, it's just like gradually went from like to guys like
he's like, no,
why are you being like this?
Yeah, and the whole time I'm on the phone, my friend's at work, so she couldn't watch. So I'm not giving her play-by-play. Oh my God, he just said this, and she's getting so angry. She's texting me back like, "How dare they? What's going on?" And then I guess she went online and found like a clip of it and was like, "I can't handle this right now."
And then yet Xavier was being like, "You want us to tell everybody the truth? The truth is that you're never coming back."
Oh
and the crowd just went, "Aw," and I went, "Aw."
Right here.
But the funny thing is, like, I think looking at this segment, because you had Biggie walk away like all sad and depressed, and then you have Xavier and Kofi go, "It's just us two," and they shook hands. I totally expect a Biggie return. I think they're definitely waiting for him to get the clearance.
Yeah. I honestly, I got scared that they were gonna like jump him from behind as he was leaving the ring.
That was the thing I was waiting for. I was waiting for like a Trouble in Paradise, like he's gonna kick him in the back of the head.
Exactly, and I would have been like, "Oh, he is cleared then." Yeah. But yeah, he's got to be, if not already cleared, close to it.
Yeah, what was pissing me off more than anything is Biggie cannot get his haircuts right. That's the thing that pisses me off more than anything. I'm like, look at this guy's hair. I mean, look, I'm gonna put it up. I'm like, God,
his hairline is just
ridiculous, and everywhere it turns to, I'm like, oh, that's.
I mean, just
come on, Jay, leave him alone.
He needs to, you know what? He should just shave it all off.
He had his friends turn on him. Leave his hair alone.
Like we say in the hood, just come home, bro. Just come home.
Take it all off. Take it all off. He needs to take it all off.
But you know what? If he hears that, you know, when he comes back and that theme music hits again, comes out bald, all pissed off, like, not for nothing. If he comes back by the Rumble, we could definitely see like a triple threat at WrestleMania with them too, with all three of these, with all three of them. But can we talk about how Biggie's girlfriend went off on Xavier and Kofi after this?
I loved it. It just so
Kofi and your bird chest.
She's a good sport, man. She's like, I'm going in on this.
Live the gimmick.
Bring her in.
Exactly. Live the gimmick. But yeah, like I said, it was a turn that I did not see coming, and I'm so happy about that because I hate being right all the time. So
yeah, no, it's true because after a while you're like, great, here we go. I knew this was gonna happen. Right. It's just anticlimactic, you know.
I'm hoping that Biggie
new theme song coming in for the New Day. Or Bad Day, whatever they're gonna call themselves, unless they just prefer some Kingston Woods.
Well, I don't know.
I think the New Day officially is like it's it. Last week that's it.
I don't know because I feel like for them it's gonna be a new day as heels, so they're gonna. I think they'll keep it.
That and they still sell merch. They still can sell merch with a certain thing, depending on what. Hey, listen. If they could go full heel, they'll get like the whole like I said, the anime turns and all that. You get the Vegetas, you get Majin Buu looks and all that. You get My Hero Academia villains and all that. They'll be fine. They'll be good.
Mm-hmm. So the Ninja Turtles are just like Shredder.
Right, exactly. You get that going on. They look like the Foot Clan. They'll dress up in the Foot Clan outfits. But
I totally expect a theme song change, but Def Rebels definitely gonna give them the shitty theme song.
Generic dark song.
Right.
I'm for until he's able to be cleared. I'm actually looking to see if he's gonna find himself a tag team to go up against the New Day from here on out. That's the look for me. Obafemi, anyone?
Nah. I was thinking about the opposite way. What if Kofi and Xavier actually find a replacement for Biggie, like fucking Omos or Obafemi, somebody like that?
Hey, it could be. Because
maybe at the end of the day, maybe Kofi realizes, you know what, I shouldn't have done this to Biggie because it could be Xavier and Omos against Biggie and Kofi, like that type of thing. Well, we'll have to wait and see. With all three of them, it's interesting to see where they're gonna go next.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the belief that Biggie can be a mouthpiece, for now until that happens. So get him a tag team, have put whoever he can together to go head to head against the New Day and such. Till he's finally cleared. Would have been great that you'd have been able to have the Hurt Business still in the building somewhere along the line. We'd have probably been able to do something like that.
Oh wow.
I mean, we're asking about who would be Biggie's partner. They'll be just like, oh, let's put our truth in the storyline.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah,
default him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that could definitely happen. But
it's a big truth. Yes, it is.
The big truth.
The big truth.
Oh God, don't even throw that up in the air, Jesus, because you put it on the atmosphere, it's gonna end up happening. Shit. But yeah, that's gonna be the closing of our celebration of the New Day, the New Day that rocks. I'm expecting something interesting to happen in 2025 with this. I don't think this is just go away and die down the way it is. I actually expect a possibly one last tag title run with Woods and Kingston before anything else goes down. I see this.
Please get the belts off Balor and JD.
Give it to
a team that could actually
give it to them now. Just give it to them now.
Because I mean, you can have the evil New Day against the LWO against the War Raiders. Like, there's teams for them to face.
Yeah, just have them.
6, it would be something different.
The utter disgust of Ariana, like, just give it to them now.
Just take it off of them. Like, they're doing nothing with those belts. Vince's too damn busy trying to get back at Damian that he forgot he's the tag team champion. Which you did see Pierce did mention that. Like, don't forget.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Ariana has the grave ready for the Judgment Day.
Oh, done.
And listen, who knows? We got portals opening up. We got drafts about to happen. So who's to say who's going to be going where from here on out? So we got a couple of weeks till that happens. But once again, thanks again, guys, for checking in on Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Always,
of course.
I guess this week's episode of History and Headlocks, we'll be looking down, going down the rabbit hole of Saturday night's main event, the history and such, and what you guys have upcoming after that.
Well, the next episode we're going to be talking about the golden era of wrestling from 1987 to 1992. And then afterwards, I'll pretty much say we're doing a Royal Rumble episode because it's Royal Rumble season.
Yes.
And then we're leaving up to you guys for who we're going to cover for Spotlightology 101. It's either going to be Bryan Danielson. That's what we agreed on, Ari.
Spotlightology 101. I like that.
Spotlightology.
Bryan Danielson, Mickey James, AJ Styles, or Christian Cage.
And guys, I'm going to need your help down the line too. You know why?
Why?
The Tabbies are returning.
Yes.
The what?
The Tabby Awards, Turnbuckle Tabloids Awards. It's a year-end tradition. So we're gonna need, now that we have Ari here, now we have a tiebreaker.
Oh,
perfect.
Yeah, now we have tiebreakers here. So
also, if you want to include Mark and Reem, it's 5 people, so we still can have a tiebreaker.
They're gonna vote for everybody black, so it's not even gonna count.
Wow.
So you already insinuated who I'm voting for, huh?
Yeah. Brock Lesnar all day for you. So
you will keep it around.
But guys, as always, thanks again for checking in, and don't go anywhere. Stick around. Much to talk about with Turnbuckle Tabloid, and as always, check you guys in a sec.
2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.